Holy smokes, it's the Lana Del Pod with Joe McMahon and Samuel Priest, a podcast about Lana Del Rey, but not really about Lana Del Rey. It's kind of ironic. It's a long story. Anyway, sit back, relax, and listen. Or I guess jog or whatever. We don't know what you're doing. It's the Lana Del Pod. Here we go.
All my heart it breaks every step that I take, but I'm hoping at the gates they'll tell me that you're mine.
Hey everybody, roll down the windows and flap your junk.
Whoa, it's the Lana Del Pod back again.
You know why I didn't say flap your dicks?
I was kind of wondering why you mixed up your catchphrase that maybe 14 people know.
Inclusivity.
Trying to bring in more.
Not everyone has a dick. Junk is everyone's got junk.
Everyone has something they can flap. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not it like flaps a bunch in the wind.
Some people have so many I'm mostly flappable shit. There's very few things on there you can't flap.
Did you see me give you an up down?
yeah, I did. That's what that was?
I was assessing.
You were assessing my flappability?
I was assessing what parts of your body would flap.
Yeah.
I did see someone.
Balls, arms.
You
dick.
know what? It's not good to judge people on their physical appearance. I think we, like as little children, we're taught that. I think that's a universe. Whether or not
now they are.
Whether or not
I don't know if we were taught that as little children. I think it was kind of encouraged to
you're
make
still
fun
not
of fatties.
No, you're not supposed to make fun of people if they're like they look ugly or if they're fat. But
I told you about the little kid at my work baseball game who asked my wife straight up, "What are you doing with that big fat guy?"
The eyes of a child, they're so wise, though. What did she say, by the way?
My wife, she had no response, which she didn't really have an answer for that. The little girl said specifically, she goes, "Christy, you're so pretty." And my wife's like, "Oh, thank you."
Thank you. That's a good thing.
And then she goes, "Why are you with a big fat guy?"
But here's the thing, and I apologize if this hurts your feelings, Joe. She's going to have to come up with an answer to tell people.
100%. 100%.
Because I've seen Kristen. She's a wonderful lady.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to introduce what this pod is in just a minute. But people know you, and you lean into it for comedic effect on some.
The fucked up thing is I don't even know how much I do it.
Well,
you know?
You're a little bit of a slovenly person. Is that fair to say?
It's so fair.
I'm not trying to,
So fair.
And you heighten that up on stage and in various performance.
Well, that's the thing.
Aspects.
I don't even do. I saw a picture of me recently.
Yeah.
Where like my fucking like shirt was halfway up.
Okay, I don't put that.
So I look like, I just look like a fucking dipshit. Like this fucking fat dipshit. I look sticky. And
what I'm trying to say is
I didn't plan on that. Like, does it make what I'm saying funnier? Like, probably.
Yeah, of course it does.
But it's not planned. This I don't know, turning my body into a fucking freak show wasn't the plan.
That's not part of the delivery. Is like this clown house is telling you jokes.
No, in fact, when I see myself in the mirror, I don't see like I have no idea how fat I am when I assess myself.
It'll sneak up on you.
I'm close to 300 pounds now.
I was about to say that I thought you were looking all right now.
I'm down. I was like 311 pounds earlier in October. And I'm 297.
What was your wedding weight? And that's the big fucking. If the only way you know Joe and I is through the podcast, that's the big news. Since the last time we record, it's just insane.
Yeah, it's a real.
This man's married.
It's a real left turn on the arc.
It doesn't make it.
It doesn't really even
sense.
arc. Really, it
makes no sense. I mean, if you think about the things that you've divulged on
things I've said and thought
on past episodes,
the general way I lived,
and then also I again, if this hurts your feelings, I do apologize, but visually as well.
Yeah.
Because you have a beautiful wife, Joe.
Yeah, she's very beautiful.
You're a lucky son of a bitch.
I'm very lucky.
This is Joe McMahon, by the way.
Yep.
We didn't say who.
Yeah, and you're Samuel Priest.
Yeah, and this is the Lana Del Pod. This is a podcast about Lana Del Rey, but you can probably tell it's not really about.
It's not fully about Lana Del Rey.
We're not gonna really spend the whole time talking about.
It's really
Lana
about
Del
just
Rey.
a couple of chums catching up.
Yeah,
discussing the world.
Two comedy guys. Yeah, and if you don't know who the fuck we are, we're comedians.
Yeah. I'm a
Sorta.
yeah.
Depending on your definition.
Yeah, we're both on the spectrum of comedian.
I'm also on the spectrum of. I don't know if I should talk about that, but I've been having.
Did you just get a diagnosis that you got a little tism?
More and more professionals are weighing in.
And what you don't strike me as a tizzy candidate.
I don't know.
I should probably stop
well,
calling
it's
it
not.
tizzy.
I've not been fully officially diagnosed with anything, but there's a lot of people that seem to have like a high knowledge of such things, and they have told me that they think something's going on. My communication is, quirky at best.
That's coming from a therapist?
One therapist, and
Yeah.
then other people that with knowledge in that area.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm
based
shutting
on how
down.
you just communicated that. Throw me in the lot of people who think you're autistic.
Yeah, I just like something's going off, and then you look at the past few years.
I live with an autistic dog.
Well, I'm not a dog, Joe.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what
No,
kind of
currently,
behavior you're
Currently, our dog has got a spectrum.
Really? That must be tough.
It
You got-
is. She'll
you
scratch
gotta-
herself fucking raw. Like she has to. Poor thing has to be in a cone most of the time. Like she can't focus to eat. You have to the other night. My wife just had to squeeze her ass the whole time, so she would just fucking settle down and eat.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not like a weird Epstein thing. It's just
It's not. Well, I wasn't going to go to the level of Epstein. It wasn't like, is she doing that to a series of dogs?
no, just the dog that needs it.
Sure.
So anyway, maybe we should cone you up.
Cone me up.
Yeah.
I do need something. I mean, that's why I've been so marijuana dependent. Is it settles me down. If I think stupid, because I was working in this office recently, and I see people walking around. I'd just get so high in the bathroom because of how bored out of my mind I was just typing in numbers or whatever. And then,
How high do you have to get to make it through that, or is it just a part of your normal highness?
It's really hard to tell because I've been high for too much. And sorry if Daddy is listening or watching, but I've been high almost every day for about 2 years or so. And so it's what level of high? But
Sure.
I get to the level of if I get to the level where I look at people in the office walking, and then I'm like, why are they walking like that? Are they walking weird?
Yeah, it's too
Am I weird?
You're being too high.
That's too high in one way. But then if I have those thoughts, then I'm not thinking why am I in an office right now? Why am I so sad? Why? You know what I mean?
There's got to be.
There's a distraction.
There's a middle ground that I think you can
I don't know what it is.
get to it. Well, I think not smoking every day, but that's tough to do.
It's tough because
It's tough to break that fucking cycle.
Well, I was getting into a lot of traffic arguments.
I remember that.
and
I remember
then-
you telling me things that were quite frankly horrifying.
I followed a man into a coffee shop. A man argued with me on the.
And then you thought about kidnapping his fucking dog.
No, I was
right?
never going to kidnap his dog, but he left his dog in the car, so I was going to move his dog. And then when he freaked out, then he would look at me. Then that's when he would see me, and then I'd go, maybe you shouldn't be rude to strangers you don't know in
If they're
public.
gonna kidnap your
Yeah,
dog.
I'm a nice guy. I just moved your dog over there. It's fine.
Yeah, imagine the bad people.
Imagine a crazy person that
what
would
would
just steal your dog.
I'm one of the good people that would take your car and dog and
I wasn't going to take his car. That's. Then
I mean, you're taking his car.
not his car.
briefly.
No. I was going to let the dog, either let the dog out of the car or reach in through the window and grab the dog.
That's
I didn't do
so
it,
much fucking
Joe.
worse. The
I'm
entertaining.
playing it up for.
I'm not here to judge.
Playing it up for our YouTube video.
I'm not here to judge.
You're not. It feels like you just brought information that I wasn't presenting, and you, for the sole reason to judge.
I'm saying, and I'm not calling you this. That's a thought a sick fuck would have. But I'm not calling you a sick fuck.
Who
I'm
else?
just saying that there's a Venn diagram of Sam and sick fucks, and in the middle of that Venn diagram is take a guy's dog to prove a point about traffic.
Do you ever
Courtesy.
Do you ever think? Do you ever think that your behavior throughout the day, throughout the week, is cumulative, and if you've done enough good things to random people, like say the homeless, then you can do.
What do you do to the homeless?
I give the homeless a decent amount of money for someone who has no money.
Mm-hmm.
For someone who has a lot of money.
Yeah, how do you think they got there?
Oh,
Giving
no.
money to homeless people. It's like a reverse pyramid. Actually, it is a pyramid scheme, but no one. I guess it's more of like a rectangle scheme.
Well, I don't know if it's much of a scheme. It's probably just a sad story. No, you don't do that. You don't like say. Like,
I don't give money to the homeless people.
But then you can
anymore.
like be rude to a stranger who offended you.
I used to give money to homeless people and then think that like I'm doing a great thing, but that's not a healthy way to look at it.
Why?
Well,
It's
you,
not like a
you shouldn't
great-
do it as
You don't-
as part of a
No,
point
hold on.
system
Yeah.
that you're an internal fucking scoreboard.
You don't do it that way to like now I've got points for later, but then like when later comes around and you're like, I shouldn't have been rude, then you can be like, well, but I did this.
Sure, that's not charity though.
Well, at the time it was charity, but now it's becoming proof that I'm not a sociopath in traffic.
Yeah, it was charity.
Now
Now it's leverage.
Now it's my legal defense.
yeah. I think, that's, again, I'm not calling you.
Yeah, okay. You don't
A
need to do the
demented
preamble then. If you're not saying it, then you
I
wouldn't
just
have
want
to do
to
such
establish that I'm not calling you this.
Good.
But that is the way that demented shit.
Well, here's the thing: first of all, I wasn't really gonna move the dog. I just thought about it for an instant,
Sure.
or whatever, just for a half of a second. And when I confronted the guy, my point was like he shouldn't have been so rude.
Sure.
Because he was really rude. It was a traffic. Do you remember the story?
I remember, sure.
I won't tell the whole thing
Yeah.
because I also remember you kind of being bored with a story that alarmed you, which is kudos to you to pulling that off.
Well, the boring part isn't alarming.
Well, the point is this guy judged. I was having a different traffic altercation, an interaction with a woman who almost rear-ended me, and then like was losing her mind honking.
So this is a derivative traffic
yeah,
altercation. So your traffic altercations are like mighty trees with many branches
no,
growing off them.
well, that's why what he did was so annoying. Is he didn't even know what the fuck was going on. He decided to be rude to a guy he didn't know.
He shouldn't have jumped in.
He shouldn't have jumped in. It's like you
It's
see
not
two
your-
people yelling, and one of them is in a car behind that person. The other person is out of
Hey,
this
guess what
car.
about mommy and daddy aren't getting back together?
You're talking to me specifically?
Him.
Oh, sorry. I went to a different.
Yeah. Although insightful.
I saw did you see Marriage Story on Netflix?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I highly
I love Noah Baumbach.
Well, then you'd love this movie.
Yeah, I'm sure I'd like the movie.
It took me to a place,
I was watching a movie, and I don't want to break stride here.
No, I don't think we don't necessarily have things we have to cover.
Well, you're on this. You're reliving this
No, we're not
double
getting-
traffic altercation that
Well, I just followed the guy.
you were
into
the focal point of,
coffee.
and thought about.
I didn't want to do anything to his dog, so stop saying that.
You wanted to, but didn't, which
I
you
was-
deserve credit for.
The last thing I said to this guy after we came out of
Mm-hmm.
the coffee shop, because the interaction was actually a lot longer than you'd think. The last thing I said to him was like, "You got a nice dog," or whatever.
Well, that's sweet.
So
that's very sweet.
So he knows that I was.
Yeah, I don't know what he knows, but I'm
It's hard to
sure
say.
that left him. Maybe I'm sure that left a decent flavor in his mouth.
I said, shame if something
he-
happened to it. No, I didn't say that
Okay.
part. I didn't say. I'm just.
When he tells the story, that end part is going to be something that like, hey, can you believe that guy? And everyone will have like a nice little.
Well,
smile.
I hope.
So you know what? Put that in the bucket of I gave a little bit of money to homeless people. That's
I hope he never
that's
yells.
a good guy point that you can use to cash in to be a bad guy later. I think.
He just was like such a jerk to two people, to me specifically in traffic. He didn't know anything about what is going on. He just thought he told me to like fuck off, keep it moving or some bullshit or whatever. And I was like, what are you doing? And then he found me, and then I was like, all right, whatever. He found me in traffic later because we were going the same direction to shake his head at me, like he wanted to shame me, Joe.
Clearly, he's no hero.
He's
He's
not.
not.
a hero.
He's not the hero of this story. Either.
There's no heroes in this story.
The
It's a
dog.
bad story.
Maybe the dog.
But I'm just saying, this guy was a fucking asshole. And then when I came into the coffee shop, he was like, he tried to embarrass me in front of the other coffee people. It was like a Caribou coffee, and he raised his voice, like he was like, it was just it was just selfish what he was doing, because he was like, oh my God, did you follow me from the street into this coffee shop? Like, he said it loud so everyone could hear. And I go, yeah. Like, you think I care what these coffee people think of me? I'm talking to you directly. My message is for you.
Maybe they'll put it in their little screenplay.
I'm not doing a play for them. Yeah, I don't care about them. I'm here to tell you that you were rude. I'm here to tell you in front of all these people who I don't know that you were rude.
I'm confronting you, not unlike Batman.
And you need to rethink your behavior in public, is what I said to him.
Unless you lose your little doggy.
We missed your tangent, but my story is done.
First of all,
about a movie, and this was a jumping off point.
There was going to be a jumping off point to a movie, but also
Noah Baumbach.
In terms of dog compliments.
Yeah,
I was on the Amtrak back in October, and me and my wife and our dog.
Now that sounds.
I'm late to the party, so it feels weird for me to call it our dog because I've only been in its life.
If you're married to the owner, I think it's ours.
Well, and I love her to death, and I think of her as my dog.
If you're
out
just
of respect for the care and love that my wife gave her for 7 years.
No, it's your dog now. Boyfriend, no, not your dog. Fiance,
the dog does have my last name.
It's your dog
on vet shit.
It's your dog too.
I should.
She can be primary owner, but you're still the owner.
I'm still. You're right. That's true.
She can
our dog.
If it comes to it,
feels good saying it.
If it comes to it, because she was there first, if you guys disagree, ultimately, I think she's the final vote.
Oh, for sure.
But it's still your dog.
Yeah. In terms of Nancy's care, I defer.
The dog's name is Nancy.
Nancy.
Now you've named, and you have a story to get to, so I apologize.
Sure.
But you've named one of your animals has a human name, Nancy. I'm a big fan of that. My cat's name is Patricia.
Yeah, I love a human name for an animal.
My older, the cat I had before Patricia years ago was named Daniel.
Carl.
I like.
I grew up with.
It's like
Pete.
It's like Steven, stop licking your ass. It's
fun.
It's fun. But you've named your other animal.
Well, I didn't, but my wife named the cat Piggy.
So you've got, and I'm sorry, what was the first one's name? Nancy and Piggy?
And Piggy. Which is fun. I love Piggy.
Now, Piggy,
it's very cute.
If Piggy has any semblance of comprehension, they have to feel at least a little insulted.
It's hard to tell.
It's hard.
Because it's a cat. Dog compliment. We're on the Amtrak.
Yeah, you, your wife,
and this guy. We sit down, and this dude, he's dressed like Dog the Bounty Hunter. He doesn't look like Dog the Bounty Hunter, but he's like dressed like him.
Like a
cool, bigger guy.
Cool leather.
He looks like
guy.
he's like a cool leathery. I mean, not cool. That doesn't look cool, but he's
cool.
fucking. He looks like that.
Father figure type.
And he's wearing sunglasses, and this is like a 6 p.m. train, so it's fucking dark. And
so this is just like my perfect man.
Yeah, and he goes, that's such a cute dog. And I was like, well, yeah, thank you. And that makes sense because Nancy's cute. And then he goes, you ever think about breeding her? How fucking gross is that to ask? That's a very familiar question. Am I thinking about, like, if it's the equivalent of him saying, hey, you ever let your dog fuck for money?
Well, it's not quite like that.
Is it not?
Do
you know what breeding is?
I understand. Before I weigh in fully.
And before you weigh in,
what was your response?
Are you making an offer? Because I got to make a buck. I was offended, but also I was curious if he knew of something and if Nancy was okay with it.
Sure. I mean, yeah, it would ultimately come down to
it's her choice.
Is it?
No, I was.
Is it if you put her in a room with something that she won't be able to resist? Is it her choice?
That's a good point. I think it might be a good point.
Or maybe it's something we shouldn't even talk about.
Or it's just a bad point.
Or it's a bummer.
It's a bummer point.
Sorry.
I was aghast. I said no flatly.
Did you say my heavens?
I didn't do my heavens. I just gave no.
No.
I let him know, like, hey man. I gave him a hey man.
It's good. That's what I gave this guy in the coffee shop.
You give hey man.
Those were my first two words.
Yeah.
Hey man.
I don't like saying the hey man, but the hey man was just so implicitly before the no when I said that. And then later on, this guy wouldn't stop fucking talking because he's on the train. He's crazy.
There's not a lot to do.
If you're not Amish, then you're a crazy person if you're on the Amtrak.
I like to take the train, but I find it's...
Well, guess what bucket you're in, Mr. Dog Napper?
Ultimately disappointing.
Yeah.
I didn't nap any dogs. Nap?
You
Nab.
entertained.
The smallest of briefest moments. And I was just going to move it. And I was going to move it. It was going to be like a cartoon or a movie where like he looks at his empty car. He goes, what? And then the camera pans to me with his gaze. And I go, and I'm like, leaning against the fence, arms crossed, looking cool. And then I go, right over there. And then the camera pans and it's just, then the dog's happy and eating a big bone that I gave it or something.
Sure.
Maybe a nice slice of cartoon ham,
That would be fun.
That would be fun.
If the dog's chomping on a ham steak, I feel like the whole thing's diffused and you guys
And I
become
say,
friends.
You got to be careful who you insult out here. A lot of weirdos. And then like I flip a coin. And I say, you're lucky I'm a nice guy. Because I'm a made man.
Yeah. And then
in the mafia.
And then you catch the coin, it says heads. And then you pull out his wife's head.
No. Then I'm a monster.
That's not the movie you're making?
No, that's not the movie. I'm making a fun one.
Later on, this man.
Okay, hold on. How long is this trip?
It's a train ride from Chicago to Pittsburgh.
And how...
Or beyond Pittsburgh, about 30 miles southwest of Pittsburgh.
How early on in this trip does he suggest that he, in some way, is going to be part of your dog's love life?
Immediately. Within 2 minutes, he inquired as to the breeding.
Okay.
Yeah. He inquired about whether or not we'd like to have our dog have sex.
So you're just like, all right.
Yeah, so I give him the no.
Going to be hanging out with this guy for a while.
Yeah, and the nice thing about a train is like you can kind of fucking move about.
That is the nice thing about a train.
You don't have to fucking get saddled.
Every now and then, though, you get into like this murder mystery and then...
That I don't mind. Oh boy, I thought about killing some Amish.
Some Amish?
Some of them. They're not all inherently fucking terrible passengers, but this guy.
Go back to your story.
This guy,
please.
this piece of shit.
Yeah.
After that, he starts chatting me up and he asks me what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I just flatly say, like, well, I sell tax resolution services. And he's like, oh, so could you, like, help me with my taxes? I've got tax problems, because of course. And I was like, no.
I'm not getting paid for making all these dogs fuck.
I can't do that. He really did want to just wheel and deal with me.
That is strange, yeah.
Hey, can you get someone to fuck my box terrier? And also, my 941s are behind.
He's just looking for a way that he can use you to help his life.
Yeah.
Whether it's your dog fucking a dog he knows, or whether you help his taxes. This guy is a selfish guy. Even though he looks like a cool man.
Yeah, on its surface, you were like, well, this guy is probably cool.
No, he's very needy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're dressed like that, you'd figure that you'd have some self-assurance.
Or you would, like, not want to get in or, like, involved in other people's business. You're a tough cookie.
Yeah. You let people's business come to you.
Yeah, so I apologize. He started talking to
he starts chatting me up about that. And again, I'm being as curt as possible.
Sure, to give him all the signals you're not interested in talking.
Right. And, this guy doesn't pick up on social cues.
Do you think people that don't pick up on social cues, do you think that at some point that becomes a choice?
Yeah.
I think
and I also think that there's a strong correlation between dressing like Dog the Bounty Hunter and not having self-awareness.
Perhaps. I'm starting to suspect some of our elderly aren't as like naive and oblivious as we think. I think they're choosing
to be assholes.
Yeah.
I think most people choose to be assholes.
And they see you.
If you're being an asshole, it's a choice.
I just think you have to see people reacting to you, and you're choosing to be like, not my problem. Doodle-doo, moving. Yeah. I don't care that they're slightly offended or they felt weird. I'm not even going to bother thinking about it.
Yeah.
Doodle-doo.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then get all mad about it, being like, well, this fucking PC culture.
No, well, yeah.
But that's a whole different can of worms.
I think, that's a different.
Anyway,
those are different.
Before we traipse on some well-traipsed over fucking topics,
you can't say anything anymore.
I fucking hate it. It's the worst.
Sorry.
I hate that.
No, say your.
Yeah, I don't want to bail on this.
Get into your actual story.
This fucking guy.
After
asking me about what I do and then saying that shit, and then I just like, I sell it. I can't help you with your tax issues, sir. Nor is my dog open to fuck. I can't do anything for you, and I just shut it down, right?
Sure.
And then about 20 minutes later, he goes, hey, you want take a look at this because you're a tax guy, which I'm not. I didn't say I was a tax guy, so I fucking telemarket for a tax firm. That's very different.
All right, yeah.
And he fucking pulls out 2 gold-plated $20 bills.
What?
They're like $20 bills that are like laminated in gold. And he pulls them out. He's like, "You're a tax guy. You might be interested in these. These are $20 bills that I laminated myself in a gold overlays. Nothing like them in the world. I just made these. Do you want them?" And I go, "No."
Yeah, because there's got to be a catch after.
There's for sure a catch when you take gold-plated money from the "Does your dog fuck" guy on the train.
It's got to be a big. Oh, now you have to kill his wife.
Yeah. Yeah, or fuck his dog.
Or his estranged wife, or his estranged dog.
Yeah, he offered me weird gold-plated money. It almost looked like the shit you use, or like the shit you see in movies when it's like, well, these are like the master plates for
That's what I was about to say. Like, what would you even
like
do with that?
Shit.
What would you even? The
And
only
he offered it to me
clearly
and
valuable
Kristen as like, hey, you're a tax guy. Do you want this money I ruined? And it was, and after that, we were like, you know what? Let's fucking move. So as soon as he like went up to the snack thing, we fucking hauled ass toward the back of the train, and that was all fine until about 3 hours later. A bunch of Amish came on at Toledo, and they're fucking loud and rude.
Were they?
No, yeah,
Well,
the fucking loudest and the rudest.
the Amish?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And they're just eating these fucking cheese sandwiches the whole time. They just all have like a big like garbage bag filled with cheese sandwiches, and they're just fucking eating it. And hurdy-gurdy-dur, John.
Oh, the Swedish Amish.
Yeah, they do. That's what they sound like.
They
They
do,
sound
the
like the
Swedish
Swedish
chef.
chef.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
gross. But anyway, that was the fucking train for me. That fucking weird guy. I'm still.
You're still a little shaken.
It's like what? That guy's just fucking in the wild.
Yeah.
That guy's just amongst us.
It does suck when you yeah. I was doing a little Uber driving over the weekend because Papa's broke, and I picked up a guy near the O'Hare Airport, and very similar to how this is not a long story at all, but the quickness in which he revealed to me that he had been in town for a furry convention and that he'd had a good time. I'm telling you, the first 60 seconds.
So proud.
Which is,
He's a proud
this is
furry.
after I helped him load his big crate, which was
Sure.
full of furry animal costumes that
Right.
he's been fucking
He's
in
been
all
fucked
weekend.
in, yeah.
And gotten fucked in
Like
all
a little,
weekend.
like a bunny suit with like a hole for his butthole.
I always picture like a blue, it's like a blue rabbit or a blue fox.
Yeah.
For some reason they're blue. Or
I always think of the Cool Rabbits from the Sour Girl music video from Stone Temple Pilots.
Now
Remember
that I'd be interested in watching because I'm unfamiliar. Also like a neon green.
Sarah Michelle Gellar's in it.
What? Really?
Yeah, it's a cool video, man.
Is she cool or dumb? You know what I mean? Some of those people.
I'm not the guy to weigh in on.
It's just weird how it seems like it's very.
You want me to hook up a dog orgy or counterfeit some money? I'm your guy, but I can't tell you.
You can't
about
properly assess Sarah
I can't
Michelle
assess
Gellar.
Sarah
It's just
Michelle
the
Gellar.
self-awareness of people from that era. It's either seems to be one or the other. Either they totally get that this is all a silly thing, or they're like dumb and oblivious to it.
Wait, what are you talking about? Clarify that.
I'm talking about.
You don't think Sarah? You're wondering whether or not Sarah Michelle Gellar gets that she's Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yeah, on what level? You know what I mean?
I don't think she thinks about it. I just think she's like, oh, I'm doing a Scooby-Doo movie this month. Great.
Yeah, but I think there's two different ways to say it. You could say that, like, I'm doing a Scooby-Doo movie this summer. Great. Like, as in, like, what a silly thing I'm doing. It's kind of fun. Or to think it's the most natural thing in the world.
Yeah, I think it'd be weird to think about it as like a natural thing.
I don't know. Okay, listen, this is not interesting regardless.
Yeah,
So,
regardless, it's not.
let me get back to this guy who's getting fucked in animal costumes. He said that to me in the first minute, which is not a big deal. He can do that.
What?
Except he did sit passenger seat, which is annoying when people do that. And
Oh,
also,
that's fucking weird.